This is my phone. You pull me on Skype?
I'm going to pull you on Skype under law, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I got you. Hang up.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
The East is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel. 721 BC. The Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Simeon, the Dominicans, our highest gathering in Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us at gunpoint, together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. A higher gather us. Oh. The Mexicans. Oh. The fathers gather in Israel. Oh. The 12 tribes will rise, my brethren. Oh. 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 Asher from Colombia, Cuban from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans, that's who we be, we be. Simeon, the Haitians, oh, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, Naphtali from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Our highest gathering Israel. That's right, brothers and sisters. The Most High, the God of Israel, is gathering the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes throughout the 4 corners of the earth. It was spoken, and this awakening is prophetic. It's prophetic, and it brings us before you this evening. My name is Elder Ricard Shaw of the Gathering of Christ Church, and I hope you all are doing well. And of course, as you come in, please hit the like button. I see a lot of people in the chat are asking, what was this song? A High is calling back Israel. The Most High is calling back the children of Israel during this time of the awakening. It will be on the project, which is called Music with a Purpose. It's called Music with a Purpose, and you'll be able to actually have this song along with a 12-song compilation that will be released actually in a few days. So if you want to go to and get your album, it's going to be nice, I'll tell you. You can go to gatheringofchrist.org or send an email. Let me give you the email if you would like to be on the if you would like to actually be on the enrollment for this, as far as the pre-orders, so that when it comes out, we'll give you your pre-order first. It's GOCC Royalty Music at gmail.com. I mean, we have many songs. We've just finished the song, man, A Higher Power's With Me. Just got finished mixing. That's going to be on the project. Save Me. Of course, To Zion, the one you've just heard. Also, Make a Nation Like Abraham. Make a Nation Like Abraham. And also a song that actually is breaking down the curse and what's going on as a product of Adam and our father and mother's Adam and Eve's sin, the divide between man and woman. And I did a song called Two Wrongs. We both blaming each other, but if we're not together, both of us are wrong. Okay? So all of these songs and more will be on the project. You can send an email to GOCCRoyaltyMusic@gmail.com if you would like to be a part of this. And guess what? We have a serious broadcast this evening. Okay? We're going to stay within the bounds of 2 hours today, so there's no overkill, and jump right in. Okay? As you come in, hit the like button, because I'm sure you're going to want to chime in on this. Now, for those who have never called in before, because we are simultaneously blogging through Blog Talk as well as YouTube, okay? So you can call in through our Blog Talk number if you would like to get in and chime on your experience with this particular topic this evening. The phone number, 515-605-9327, is open for callers as we speak. 515-605-9327. Hit the one only if you have a question or a comment on this specific topic this evening. Our topic, light skin, dark skin. A nation divided by color. Now listen to where we're going at here. We as a people, I'm speaking of people of color, have suffered racism as a people for thousands of years, protesting for hundreds of years in this country against inequality, along with the injustices by the hands of other races against us, white people, simply based off of the color of our skin. Now, that's what the whole civil rights movement was about. Please bear with us. I'm broadcasting through a hurricane watch, so bear with me. We've suffered inequality and injustices strictly off of the color of our skin. And I'm talking about children of slaves, people that's from the diaspora, who have always suffered by the hands of what you would call white supremacy throughout the earth. We even knew growing up, okay, the suburbs or certain areas belong to them. This is where we reside because they don't like those who look like us. It was programmed into us from an early age. You don't cross over there because those people are different, right? But we knew being judged because of the color of our skin, opposed to the content of our character, was wrong on every level. And that was not going to be tolerated by whites doing this to us, looking down on us, hating us because of the color of our skin. Okay, we weren't having it, right? So if we knew or know that discriminating against someone based on the color of their skin is wrong, how can these same behaviors exist amongst our people? Think about this. I'm talking about colorism. Dark skin against light skin. Suffering the same oppression in the same neighborhoods, one against another. Dark skin against light skin, and vice versa. How have this affected our people? And above all, how can we erase the line of color that have divided us and always divides us? Again, how have this affected our people? And above all, how can we erase the line of color that divides us? And above all, and I'm sure you're going to be waiting for this, what does the Bible have to say about this generational curse? Because that's what it is. We've handed down to our own children. What is this thing about color within poor communities if we aren't or haven't been divided long enough? Now, sometimes I start off with my own experience just to kick it off, and you can come in with your experience. 515-605-9327, right? Okay. Growing up, I wasn't the lightest guy on the block, right? But immediately, you have to realize, folks, I came up, in the 80s, as far as my young to teen years, right? I came up in the 80s, right? From elementary on, I was around that period. And, coming up at this time, you had El DeBarge. You had the DeBarge family. You had the light skin thing that was going on with Superfly. Okay. You had the thing where if you were light, El DeBarge or one of those, the majority of the sisters leaned towards you had to be light skinned or quote unquote have good hair to actually speak to them. I don't know if I'm telling my age, but I'm putting it out there. Right? I remember being called names growing up. It never affected me. Right? My father would always say, son, let me tell you, don't worry about it, son. Black is always in. You will grow up and fill out and you'll be fine. Okay? And he used to tell me all the time, don't worry about what people call you. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but if they lay your hands on you, do what's taught. Okay? You may like a certain girl or whatever. I'm just speaking on the lowest level so that you can understand. If you try to talk to a dark-skinned girl growing up, she wanted to go out with the light-skinned guy if she was pretty and dark-skinned, right? So it was something about that whole dynamic. We know until Nino Brown came on the scene and things started curving for the better when it came to those who looks like me. But the fact that those things existed within our community in itself is an issue and hypocrisy at its best, right? How can we talk about you can't judge me or look down on me because I'm black, but yet exhibit the same behaviors amongst your own community? Think about that. Where a black person don't feel good unless there's some light skin or white approval. On and on and on and on. And this is deep in itself. Now, it never really affected me like that as far as, esteem issues or whatever the case is, because my father and my mother were black. And as far as I was concerned, they were black and beautiful. And there was nothing to be ashamed of. And if someone didn't want to accept me how the Most High made me, then, hey, you don't deserve to be in this space anyway, right? You'll never get to know certain people with that particular mindset. And this stuff is rampant. It's a disease solely almost within our communities, folks, and the Hispanic community too. I want to talk about that within this 2 hours. That colorism exists even amongst the Hispanics, and they don't even realize they're suffering the same curse as us because we are the same people and have the same father by the name of Jacob. Right? Light skin, dark skin, a nation divided by color. We've always suffered, we've always suffered racism by the hands of others and knew it was wrong. You judging me and not giving me an opportunity based on the color of my skin. So how can we become hypocrites when we may look at our own brother and sister and say, you're not good enough because you're not light enough? Or think that your child, you don't want to deal with your own or your own race or even your own color being dark skinned because you don't want your child to exhibit the ridicule that you've exhibited. So if you are dark skinned and have suffered people calling you darky and all names like that and saying you black as the street, and because of the impact, okay, of these wicked behaviors, now you're going to produce something out of that. And I'm saying you're going to go produce a light-skinned child based on an action that you know was wrong, perpetuating the curse and not even realizing it. We used to grow up hearing things like, she has good hair, or he has good hair. I didn't know the kinky stuff was bad. Did you? Right? I remember I remember my mother and father coming in the house with the afros. I'm black and I'm proud. I remember looking at the old pictures of the 70s and all that, where sisters was actually, the other nations was drooling over our sisters because the sisters had the bushes. You even had the other races. You had white people trying to get bushes in the 70s, where the trend was them looking like our sisters with the natural hair. Then they would have the two bush ponytails and the different styles, the dreadlocks and all these. And the other nations were trying to look like us. Remember that? I seen an old Sidney Poitier movie not too long ago. I seen some skits on YouTube, and it was tripping me out that I was looking at white guys, Jewish guys, trying to have afros. What has happened? What has happened? We're gonna delve into this color thing, and I'm gonna bring Lawyer in one moment, right? But here's the questions we must answer at the end of this, and I need you all to be honest. Don't even deal with no insecurities or whatever. We'll never heal as a people if we don't talk this out and get over the nonsense. It's one thing as a child feeling a certain type of way, because children play around and say certain things or whatever the case is. But it's another thing to take that behavior and mindset into adulthood and have your life dictated on you being scorned or you being picked on as a child. Now your whole life is predicated off of when you were between the ages of 5 and 10. It's ridiculous. And if we don't break the mold, if we don't break this garbage as adults, our children will continue to suffer. Okay? And not get a handle on this hypocrisy. Hold up, mommy and daddy. You say it's bad that white people judging us for being black. But yet I hear you all talking about the light-skinned chick up the street and calling her light-skinned names. Calling her whitey because she's light-skinned. And I hear you calling your own people black terms. That's what trips me out with our people. We get up in arms. We're not going to wear Gucci anymore because Gucci had blackface. What? Let me tell you what Gucci has done is a skip through the part based on what I've witnessed with colorism within our community. So something is seriously broke within us to all band together against racism when we exhibit the same behaviors, if not worse, which is actually worse, amongst ourselves. Don't you think? Huh? It's upon us to break this and fix it. So the questions are, how have this affected our people? And above all, how can we erase the line of color that divides us? That's number one. Number two, and above all, what does the Bible have to say about this generational curse we have actually handed down to our children? Now, speaking of children, I have a video you all need to see. And let's talk about this. Let's discuss this. And then I'm going to bring you in after that, lawyer. 515-605-9327. Check this out.
In Brown versus Board of Education, the famous case that desegregated schools in the 1950s, Dr. Kenneth Clark conducted a doll test with black children. He asked them to choose between a black doll and a white doll. In most instances, the majority of the children preferred the white doll. I decided to reconduct this test as Dr. Clark did to see how we've progressed since then. Can you show me the doll that you liked best or that you'd like to play with?
This one. I like that one.
Okay.
This one.
That one?
I like to play with this.
And can you show me the doll that is the nice doll? And why is that the nice doll?
He's white.
And can you show me the doll that looks bad? Okay. And can you give, and why does that look bad?
Because it's black.
And why do you think that's a nice doll?
Because she's white.
And can you give me the doll that looks like you? "15 out of the 21 children preferred the white doll."
15 out of the 20 children preferred the white doll. The children didn't want anything to do with a doll that looked like them. And I'm speaking of black children. Where did they learn this at? And I know everyone is talking about the white man, and we all know about the picture of Cesar Borgia, right? Of Cesar Borgia, a white Spaniard who was placed or propagated by the Romans, white people, as Jesus Christ. We know that Christ wasn't a white man. The Bible tells us that Christ was a black man with woolly hair, in specific. But I know we look to blame white people for everything that goes down with us. But there's no white people who were raising those children that were interviewed. So they learned this at home. Someone didn't instill in their children the beauty of their melanin, the beauty of loving yourself just the way the Most High God made you, and that you're not to alter anything because you are perfect. You are his You are his son and daughter in perfection. Okay? He molds you, and you're proud of every inch of yourself being a child of the Most High. That wasn't instilled in those children, and that had nothing to do with white people. It's time we start realizing what we've been doing to ourselves. We can't control what white people and other people do, even if they did do anything. A change will never happen unless we begin to address the things we do against each other, right? Light skin, dark skin, a nation divided by color. Let me bring in Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Shalom.
Shalom. How you doing, lawyer?
I'm doing well, sir. How about yourself?
I'm blessed by the best, and his name is Ahia. What say you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think that just listening, and of course we've just started, but just listening to the topic of discussion and the what we seek to embark upon tonight I think it has the opportunity to be one of the most profound shows that we've ever done. I think in the past we have touched on this topic very lightly in other lessons, but I think this is maybe the first time that I can recall that we've actually dedicated a show specifically to the topic of, I guess you would say, colorism as it exists amongst simply us as a nation. So as I'm sitting back and I'm listening, I kind of want to see some of the information, some of the perspectives you're going to bring out, just to get a well-rounded view and understanding of this particular topic, and then also, of course, give my 2 cents towards the end, but nonetheless, very, very profound topic.
And thank you, brother. I'm going to place you on hold, and we're going to continue the show. And of course, the biblical perspectives will come in at the tail end of this, okay? So I'm going to place you on hold. Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on. Just go on hold. I'm diving in. Let's dive in. Right? Thank you, lawyer. 515-605-9327. Light skin, dark skin, a nation divided by color. The biggest culprits that I would say is behind not instilling the righteousness of our color within us is the so-called pastors who are established in our communities. It's not hard to go through the Bible and break it down and have our children realize that all those great people in the Bible that white people are mimicking today in their movies and in their plays were all black, dark-skinned, kinky-haired people. Okay? It's upon us to teach this. Not look for some theologian school or some white guy somewhere with a heart and a Bible to actually tell us what has been there before the white man was in position. That black has always been beautiful. Okay? It has always been beautiful. But it's something about us. When we look in the mirror for some reason, we see something else. It's a curse. It's a curse. And we're looking at this example that's portrayed by those who are running the system as the example of beauty. I don't understand it. To me, it's insane, folks. It's insanity to me. I look at some of those magazines and what they call beautiful, even when I go to the supermarket, whatever the case is, and it's ridiculous. I'm looking at these people, and there's nothing, extraordinary about any of that. I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is what people want to be? And in Jamaica, oh my goodness. Oh my. Check this out, folks. I need you to see this.
Hi guys, so I just came to show you that I'm stripping. Yes guys, I'm stripping. That means it's working. So I'm going to wash my face. I'm going to show you what I do when I start to strip. I'm going to wash my face and try to get some of it off. Sorry about the noise in the background. But I'm happy guys. Look, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to even up with here. And it's going to take off all of this discoloration. I'm happy. I just got out of bed, by the way, so don't judge me, okay? So
Don't judge me.
Exfoliating gloves. I'm going into the shower now. I'm going to, no, not the shower. I'm heading into the bathroom. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I do to help take some of this thing off. Alright, so I'm in the bathroom now and I have my soap here. Remember this soap? Yeah. So now I'm gonna ladder up.
This is bleaching soap, folks.
Alright, like this. And now I'm gonna start scrubbing away.
Let's scrub all that bad blackness out of here. Let's get it out.
So what I'm doing here, guys, I'm trying to get off some of the dead skin.
I'll look like Britney Spears after this.
Yeah. Trying to get off some of that dead skin.
Let's get that dead black stuff out of here.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to get around my eye area as close as possible. I'm trying to go in my eye now because my favorite now pretty. Alright guys, little one is right here. Yeah.
Now this is almost sandpaper she's using, folks. It got grains and all that stuff. Come on, let's get that bad black out of there.
Alright, so I'm gonna wash my exfoliating gloves out and just keep this on my face for about 3 minutes or so, not very long, until it starts to tingle, just like the last time.
And let me make this clear, brothers and sisters. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the color of this sister. Beautiful skin. You can tell from her shoulders and all that. She has a beautiful tone. And it's deep because you know how many Caucasians, how much they would pay to actually get into the sun and have a tan like this? There's nothing, this girl is beautiful. It is a shame. It's hurtful. Something happened to her as a child, and it's a generational curse. We have to start dealing with these mothers and fathers who are making these broken children, folks.
After alright guys, so it's tingling now. I can feel the sensation, so I'm gonna wash it off now. Don't want to get my hair wet. Alright. Time to wash it off. I'm not using the gloves, guys. I'm just gonna use my hand to get it off. So I'm not gonna put any cream on today because I'm heading out shortly. I'm just gonna go into the shower now, and I have a delivery. I have like 2 deliveries. So what I'm gonna use today is, not today, for the morning. As soon as I get off the road, and if I'm not gonna go back,
Have mercy on us.
the cream, the same thing that I showed you in the other video. So this is what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna just dry my face, and then I'm gonna apply this.
We ain't gonna wait for the rest of it. Lord have mercy. Oh, and that this is what that baby, you hear that baby in the background? Brothers and sisters, do you hear that baby in the background? And if it's a daughter, if it's a girl, Lord have mercy on us. How can she teach that child to be black and proud? How can she instill a secure behavior in that child like this? 515-605-9327. We have to break this, folks. We can break this. I'm going to show you in the Bible today. We're going to go into that Bible. We have to break this, folks. Real-time solutions tonight. Real-time biblical answers to this curse. Right? 515-605-9327. Let me take a call first real quick here. Let me take a call first. And then I have another one. I can't wait for you to see the last video I have. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. If you thought those were something. Children naturally just picking a white baby doll over a black child. And when the woman asks, which of the doll look like you? And they point to the black child, the black doll. And then afterwards, a sister is making a do-it-yourself turn white video and is happy while doing so with what it sounds like a toddler learning this in the background. You have to really get on the outside of our people and look, just step out of ourselves for a second and see what everyone else is seeing. For real. We've been enablers for dysfunction for so many years, not realizing enabling it is a curse. Because she knows it's not right. The first thing this sister said was, don't judge me. Don't judge me. Well, subconsciously, she know it, that something isn't right there. For those who've just come in, please hit the like button and come on in and drive some traffic. Light skin, dark skin, a nation divided by color. We've always suffered racism by the hand of white people in other nations, strictly looking down on us based on the color of our skin, us being black. We knew being judged by the other races of people was wrong. That they were judging us strictly on the outside, our outside, how we looked, opposed to the content of our character. We knew that was wrong. We would call that hate, judging us solely on the color of our skin. So knowing this was wrong, how can these same behaviors exist amongst our people? I'm talking this evening, we're talking at Gathering of Christ Church about colorism. Dark skin against light skin and vice versa. How have this affected our people? And above all, how can we erase the line of color that divides us? And at the end of this, What does the Bible have to say about this generational curse we've handed down, like you heard in that video with that sister, to our children? Right? Let's go. Let's go now. Right? Let's go. 515-605-9327. Let's take a few calls and then we're gonna dive right back in. There's a lot that must get covered this evening. 315 area code. Shalom, you're live with the Gathering of Christ Church. Shalom, you're live with the Gathering of Christ Church.
You hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. Talk to us.
All right, Todd. I love this topic because this is something that I feel like I've always had like debates and conversations about with other people. Like for starters, do we know how much our melanin is worth? Like, it's worth more than gold. Like, we just don't understand. Like, and I want to say this, no offense to anybody that's in like interracial marriages or with somebody that's of a lighter tone, but the way my generation is set up now, I feel like people are now getting with lighter skin tone people or quote unquote white people or Gentiles, just so at the end of the day they could like think of what their babies would look like. You know, we're living in a world where everybody's just like, oh, this mixed race, this good hair, these pretty eyes, this and that, and everything. And it's just like, it's saddening because y'all don't understand how beautiful we are. Like, honestly, there's a lot more positivity on darker tones because I've noticed that there's still a lot of heavy, light skin, versus dark skin talks out there, and it shows. But I feel like now people are kind of starting to acknowledge the darker tones and everything like that. Like, they're like, oh, black is beautiful, this and that. But I'm seeing in like other countries as well. I think this was in like the Philippines or something, where they have like they're like this marketing business where they are selling like creams and getting surgeries to get their skin lighter for beauty, because that's something that they idolize. That's beautiful for them to have a lighter complexion. And I'm just looking like, what? Y'all getting rid of y'all skin? I mean, I'm not trying to talk bad about nobody that's lighter, but it's hard for them to go out in the sun. Like, it's so crazy. And then from what I've seen in the Bible, where it says Hosea 7 verse 8, it says, Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. So it's pretty much stating that he was light-skinned as well. But back then, we didn't see, like, back then we never seen color. We just seen how a person's acting, what their beliefs were, how they, treated one another, where was their stance before the Most High. No one was looking at the color as such. I mean, to identify if you were maybe a Gentile or not, but even still, like, we knew that we were mixing. But all that colorism and all this stuff definitely started, back in the slave time, especially in the Willie Lynch, where they were separating the house slaves and the field slaves, trying to make it seem like that's where that psychological stuff came in, trying to make it seem like if you were lighter tone, you got the good life, you can stay in the house, you can eat all this good food, you can da-da-da-da. But if you're out there in the field, you darker, you getting that sun, you da-da-da-da-da. It's just like, y'all don't understand how important melatonin even is. Like,
okay, sister,
it's like the prime.
Round it up. We got a lot of calls now. Come on. You hit
Right.
on a lot of points, but round it up. Come on.
Right. I didn't want to be too long with it and everything, but I just really, really love this topic because it's something that is like, it's really potent out there with our people.
Well, thank you, sister. I'm going to place you on hold. You hit on a bunch of points that we're going to actually expound upon. So thank you, okay?
No problem. Shalom. Elder.
Shalom, bless you. Very, very smart girl. Let me make this point, okay? Light-skinned people are beautiful. All right? So this is not no black thing being dark against white. Or lighter skin. White people should feel good about how the Most High made them and be proud of that. Light-skinned people, okay, let me tell you, even David, our King David, He was lighter than the normal dark hue you see here. Okay? So being light-skinned is nice too. And that someone should feel good about how the Most High made them, even if they lighter skin. But somehow, racism is being exhibited within a community who have always suffered racism. It sounds sick, sounds crazy, doesn't it? I mean, you don't want a whole neighborhood of just Steph and Aisha Currys, do you? I mean, you know, they're nice the way they look, the way the Most High made them. Okay. But what makes us so great as a people, outside, I'm talking about just the outward appearance, is the diversity within of colors throughout the whole spectrum of brown, even light brown. And everyone should be proud of how the Most High made them, from the darkest of brown to the lightest of hue, without us using that as a reason to continue to destroy and divide and to hurt each other. We make anything into a battle, anything into a divide, not realizing we're all suffering together. Think about it. Next call, 702.
Hello.
Shalom. You got about a minute and a half. Talk to me.
Shalom. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Make sure the radio is turned off in your background, sir, so I don't hear myself. It disturbs the broadcast.
Okay. All right, it's turned off.
Okay, great.
It's turned off, but I just wanted to mention this. The reason why we feel like this is all back from the last topic that you had last week, and it's just slavery of a slave mentality. We was taught to dislike ourselves. I feel that. Then another reason is I feel it's the black men in the world. The black men need to stop condoning these actions as they think, oh, chocolate woman look better with weave in her hair, makeup on. Stop condoning this and the women will stop doing it. That's all I have to say.
Exactly. It's to a degree, brothers, and I'm going to tell you, because it starts with the men. Women, I'm going to place you on. A lot of women are doing these things because they believe in their minds this is what men want. Okay, they believe that this is what's attracting them, men to them. Or, you know, being that the pool is so slim when it comes to pickings, in their mind, they feel they have to do certain things to get an edge in this competition thing. But it comes to a point starting with men. Let's deal with the men first. Brothers, I'm talking about righteous men. You have to take a hard stance, and I try to instill this in my sons, okay? The best I can, but they have to make their own choices, okay? And I thank the Most High. One of my sons who's about to graduate, man. I mean, the young lady he chose is, man, I congratulate him. I make sure, and guess what? She's dark as me and she's beautiful. And I make sure I congratulate him and actually you encourage that. And always asking about her and saying things to let him know, just to encourage him and say, listen, you don't have to deal with the peer pressure, right? So it's of thinking that you must get accepted by being with someone on the outside of you or having someone lighter than you, okay? Now, it's upon brothers to say, you know what? If women are going to wear certain things to cover her real beauty, then brothers going to have to just pull back when it comes to some of those compliments. Okay? Be like, no, I'm not, because, no, you know, you have to be straight up and say, well, listen, because later you're going to say it anyway. Why don't you wear your real hair? Or why don't you do this and do that? And she's going to feel, well, this is what got you. When really, it was you trying not to offend her initially. And when you see sisters wearing their natural hair and their natural modesty, you know what? Compliment them and say, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Everyone is got that stuff all on their head and trying to look the same way as everyone else. And you know what? Your natural self stands out. This is what the Most High made. And it's upon men to compliment that. Okay, and let women know it's okay. Your kinky hair is okay. It's a blessing. Okay. It's okay. But it's upon the men to do this, because later you say it anyway, but you try to say it in a way in which later on, to the degree in which it would offend her because you wasn't straight up with her. Right? Because really, I'm going to tell you, a lot of men don't like the weave and all that old stuff. They don't like it. Hygienically and otherwise. They just don't like it. Okay. But a lot of women get offended because they feel this is part of their beauty. Okay. And I want to put that out there. A lot of men don't like that stuff. Line some men up and be honest where there's no blowback. And 9 out of 10 men will say, listen, we don't like that. If there was a poll, a private poll, men would say, no. Because hygienically, down the line, it don't look right. Sometimes, and some people compliment, you know, sisters will compliment and say, well, I don't keep my hair bad like other people. Like that's like that's some type of achievement. Well, I don't treat my weave bad like my other people. No, we want to talk. We want to hear how you're treating your hair, not how you're treating your weave. Okay. Your hair is beautiful. How the Most High made you is beautiful. And if a man don't accept it, he don't deserve you anyway. And it always go back to slavery. Well, when are we going to realize that, quote unquote, slavery is over? The Most High has awakened his people. We are no longer who we thought we were. Okay. So how long are we going to use hundreds of years of captivity as an excuse? And it makes it even a more weird case that we know Willie Lynch. We know that it's psychological. We know what the so-called white man did in slavery, but still perpetuate the behavior. At one time, we didn't know anything about Willie Lynch. Okay, you had an excuse back then. But we know all these behaviors come from a downtrodden people, and you would have thought that you were like, okay, I'm not going to exhibit those behaviors any further with this understanding. But maybe it's something I'm missing. Right? Maybe. I don't know. Next call. 501 area code. One moment. 501 area code. Talk to me. 501 area code. 1 second here. Shalom.
Okay, let me tell you, even David, our King David.
Okay.
He was fired.
Okay, I'm going to the next call. If I hear myself in the background, I'm sorry. I have to get to the next call. 440 area code. 440 area code.
Shalom, Elder. How are you today?
I'm blessed by the best, and his name is Ahia. Yes.
Yes, sir. That needs me too as well. I want to make 3 strong points here.
Come on.
Number 1, the world would make us believe that black people are very unpopular, but our black culture is. Number 2, the fact that it's very unfortunate that a lot of us have developed this thing called an identity crisis that helps develop this sort of self-hatred amongst each other when it comes to the white and the light and the dark skin. And then, of course, 3, this self-inflicted hatred that our people have developed, it's furthering the agenda of destroying us altogether. And to make things worse, they put movies out there like Get Out and Us to actually insult us.
Okay, expound on that.
With the things that come out with these movies, they have agendas in there to attack us on a psychological scale of things, and even spiritual more than everything else.
Okay.
So growing up as a very light-skinned male myself, I've had some experiences of what the Bible would say, bywords, and, you know, he's a light-skinned guy, get chased out of the neighborhood, had to learn how to fight real early because I wasn't hanging with the dark-skinned, or I wasn't dark-skinned. So I understand the great divide that we're having. This is a very great topic.
Okay. And you know what? There's nothing, and brother, let me tell you, some of my best friends were light-skinned. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, used to be, you know, it'd be like a few dark-skinned, a few light-skinned. That we had a Puerto Rican brother that was part black who was amongst our crew and all that. Every place we went, you know what? It doesn't matter what the light-skinned, dark-skinned. We never had a problem because it was the confidence that was exuded. It was the upbringing of the father and mother instilling that pride in us accepting who we were. You understand? And so, you know, there was this light-skinned brother. Yeah. There was a light-skinned, I remember the growing up, his name was Delanor. All the girls loved the light-skinned guy. And you know what? It was fine. Yeah. It was fine with me because, you know, I'm like, okay, it's okay. I didn't have no problem with it.
Why did you so, right?
I'm saying, listen, it didn't have no problem because the whole deal was, you have to realize and understand, you have to understand the psychological impact that was going on at that time. And really, you have to deal with, I'm going to tell you, and people don't want to accept this. It takes only a certain level of people who can just look at the outward appearance and just want somebody strictly off of that, not realizing whether or not this person can actually put two sentences together and long term what this will mean for you and your children if you don't choose right at that time. Because guess what? You grow up and those looks change. Okay, and you're going to spend the majority of your life as an adult, opposed to that little window you chose as a child, thinking that someone was cute. And that's mistakes we make as people. Our parents don't instill the right understanding in us like our father Abraham did and Sarah did. Said, listen, this is where I want you to get a wife, he told Jacob and Esau. I'm going to show you where the women are good at, where they're spiritual, where they're righteous, where they have virtue and respect, and vice versa. Women in the Bible chose like that. They were looking at the long term, not just who was cute for the moment or whether or not someone had a little body or something at the moment. Because this relationship was going to be a life relationship. Okay? The biblical relationships were right, brother. You understand? They were right. They were right. You sit there, you can have a person, and I remember growing up and you have people who was doing all types of criminality and all that, but girls would cleave to guys like that because he was quote unquote cute. I mean, it's like something is wrong. It's what we perpetuate as a people. It's generational, but there's a fix, and we're going to talk about that fix in a moment. Thank you, brother, for that. I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Real quick before I go into part 2, because there's no way we can talk about this colorism and not bring solution this evening. This next hour will be discussing solution. Okay? And no one need to get offended out there. I'm going to tell you that straight out. And that's what's wrong. That we cannot talk candidly and honest about anything that's wrong within our community without someone getting offended out there. Thinking that, okay, it must be talking about me, or I know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. No. We need to put this selfishness to bed and realize that our actions are affecting all of us. These are not individual actions. We're perpetuating the curse, and guess what? Our children are growing and waxing worse than we were. Okay, so we're going to continue to have these candid conversations. Speaking of that, let me make my announcements real quick. Okay. We want to say to you, brothers and sisters, thank you who are in our Hebrew and Bible Academy. Get your Sunday morning dose. Don't miss out on what everyone is talking about. The Hebrew and Bible Academy is experiencing its best year ever, best time ever, with brand new lessons, timely news reporting, and the hot topic everyone is talking about from the lesson I taught on the curse between a man and a woman. Family building will be a lesson within the academy itself. This lesson and more will be offered in the upcoming academy. We're going to also go into UFOs in the Bible, teaching and letting everyone know that we're not alone, that it was prophesied, these UFO sightings we're seeing throughout the earth, it was prophesied, and we're going to go from A to Z, Genesis to Revelation, breaking down the unidentified flying objects. In our teachings, the gods are amongst us. You don't want to miss that, okay? Now, we would like to invite you to enroll into our upcoming Hebrew and Bible Academy, which starts Sunday, June 23rd at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Seats are filling up fast. We have the administration working around the clock. So hurry to enroll to secure your seat today. We have brand new in-depth lessons. The truth behind the fall of Adam and Eve. Broken family. Marriage, is it cursed? Mysteries of UFOs in the Bible. And we're going to do an updated class from Babylon, Rome, to America. You don't want to miss this academy. Send an email to gatheringas1@aol.com if you would like to be involved. Hey, get your seat. You don't want to miss it. Okay, you get your PDFs in the email. Follow the email, and you Sunday morning, boom, you'll have Elder Lawyer dealing with that Hebrew 101. Shaphat and I will come in with the news, breaking down real-time prophecy, and I got a few snippets I want to put up online because some of what I went into this Sunday concerning news and prophecy, I have to put out there for some of you. So I'm going to make some snippets and put it up on this page so you'll know what you've been missing when it comes to some of that news that Shaphat bring forth. Okay, and then after that, you open up your PDFs, get your pen and pads out, and we dive in. That's right, into our lesson. And no one lesson is the same. There's nothing like this on the earth, and it's only $50 a month. You have, 3 months of serious teachings, and I guarantee you, you'll learn more in one lesson than you have learned throughout all of your life in any religious institution, and I'll guarantee it. Okay? Now, I also want to announce that we got a few more left of our GOCC calendars. If you missed out on getting our calendars to be able to chart the true holy days according to the 364-day calendar. Okay, so if you want to get your calendar, because we still have a few left, you can send an email. Matter of fact, just go to gatheringofchrist.org, click on calendar, and get your updated calendar, realizing that our calendar doesn't end in December anyway. Our calendar ends next March to April. So there's a lot of months and a lot of holy days to go. So if you want to get your calendar, go to gatheringofchrist.org, click on calendar, and order yours today. Also, last but not least, our last announcement, I Am Apparel continues to create new and exciting designs for both men and women and children. Okay. You can stop by I Am Apparel today by visiting iamapparel.org. Okay, we make modest clothing for women, Israelite gear. We have modest pants, shirts, We also have the fringes, borders of blue, you name it, at iamapparel.org. A matter of fact, the shirt I'm wearing, Gathering of Christ Church, that's right, in all different colors, you can find on the website. So support the work so that we can set up these churches and eventually do the Babylonian bounce. Right? So thanks again. I wanted to make those announcements, and now let's jump right back in. Right? Light skin, dark skin, a nation divided by color, dark skin against light skin and vice versa. How have this affected our people? Above all, how can we erase the line of color that divides us? Check this out. I need you all to see this, brothers and sisters. One second. You have to see this one.
When did you start? One of the fashion is bleaching skin.
Okay.
What do you...
Right now in Jamaica, if you're not bleaching, you're not saying nothing, because bleaching turn up the thing. So when you bleach, it makes you look more nicer, look more sexier, and look more cuter than you was.
Do you bleach?
Yeah.
Yeah? When did you start?
I'm start about 2 years about now. Some people say they want to look like Beyonce or what you call that, Nicki Minaj. I want to look like Nicki Minaj.
Do you ever think about it and just wish that it was different and that the trend was to be black?
The only difference I wish you had in it was if it could happen faster without damaging your skin.
Show me what you do.
Alright, this is Bio Cream. Now this is Jamaica's baby ingredient. And this is for your hair. But girls have found out that this volume 40 is like one of the big things that just brings up the cream, gives you that, first it gives you that reddish look, and then it just takes it off beautiful. But after a while, you have to just cool off and come back again, because your skin will get way too thin. You get a cut, it will never heal. After a while, this area will burst. And when it bursts, the vein is more obvious.
What do you think would happen if I used it?
If you... Wow, I don't think you will have skin left. Some of the girls that do this think that, hey, if I do this long enough, I'll become white. But you never actually get white. After you get brown, you get pink. So you do it once in the morning and once in the night before you go to bed. There's some people now that do it 3 times a day. This is the way I do it, right?
Okay.
First thing you get is the warmth of it.
Shall I try?
It won't hurt you.
It's definitely a little bit warm.
Yeah. So we're gonna take the Glad wrap and we're gonna wrap it on my skin. The heat is unbearable, right?
Yeah. So you would go out with this under your clothes?
Yeah.
All day?
You would go out, yeah. Some girls get stockings and pull it up over it. They would get tights and pull it up over it, and probably get jeans. So it would be the heat of the century, like a global warming type of thing happening, yeah.
But if you have a boyfriend already, doesn't it interfere with your sex life?
He doesn't get any.
What's more important, sex or bleaching?
Sex or bleaching. Yes, some guys that if you're not brown, they don't want you. So there's a lot of guys that will lie down and watch you rub on the cream, help you rub on the cream, and lie down beside you and say, baby, I don't want to mess up that cream tonight. I want it to stay on you, yeah.
BS. That's what that is. BS. Not bittersweet either. Yes, yes, yes. What is wrong? Okay. What is wrong? Who can we blame for this? When are we going? When are we as a people going to begin to understand the curse that we perpetuate against ourselves as a people with this colorism thing? That sister rubbing that stuff and putting and wrapping herself in saran wrap looked perfectly fine that color. and when they bleach, it doesn't look good at all. Lord have mercy. Let's go to the next call here. All right, next call, 770. Okay, this is a familiar number here. All right, this is Sister Marie France. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Blessed by the best, and his name is Ahia. Talk to us. This curse that's going on. Dark skin against light skin and vice versa.
Great topic, Elder. I love the topic, and I have a couple of comments. Some of it is my experience.
Okay.
Well, I've lived in Haiti for 10 years, so.
In Haiti, okay.
Although Haiti is a black nation. Yeah, although Haiti is a black nation, but there's always a separation between, dark skin and light skin. I remember, so I came into the States when I was 10. I remember when I was maybe about 7 or 8 years old, most likely 8 years old. I was in school, but my best friend, she was, blonde hair, blue eyes, light skin. Yes, we do have those Haitians who look like that.
Okay.
And whenever her mom comes to pick her up, her mom looks like her, blonde hair, blue eyes, but and I've always been embarrassed to share this. I've shared it with my friends, but I remember there was a time my mom came to pick me up, and then I was like, oh yeah, it's time for me to go. She was like, oh, who's here to pick you up? And I told her it was my aunt. And so when my mom, approached, and she was like, oh, your aunt, what's your aunt's name? She was talking to my mom, and then my mom was like, why did you tell her I was your aunt? But, in Haiti, although most people look like me, but, at the time, I'm sure it's still like that too. If you're light-skinned, you seem to be about, or, there's changes about that, but that was the thing. But that wasn't me as a child, but when I came to the States, it was like different for me. With my dad, he would always uphold the dark-skinned woman, telling me how beautiful I was. You're so lucky to be dark-skinned. My mom is dark-skinned, my dad is dark-skinned. But my stepmother, she's light-skinned, and I always used to wonder, if, she liked dark-skinned women, why is my stepmother, light-skinned? But, my father always told me how, I was blessed to be dark. So growing up, I always said to myself, whoever I get married to would be like, a dark-skinned man, or I want my children to look like me. But moving forward, the comment you made earlier about, how in the 70s, how, the other nations used to want to look like us. Yeah. I still see that today. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because I'm in the beauty industry, but the women come in there, they want to, I'm sorry, I'm walking my life, but the women, they come in there, they want to look like us. When you go in the cosmetics department, most of the sisters most of the women that's working there, they're dark skinned. They promote that a lot in the beauty industry.
Okay.
Especially with skincare, they'll tell us, let them know you use the skincare. Because, the other nations, they know they want to look like us. They'll tell me oh, I have to use sunscreen. You don't have to. You'll never age because of your color. But a lot of them want to look like us today. Not to say dark skin is better than light skin. That's ridiculous. But that's whenever I see a dark skinned little girl, I always, remind her how beautiful she is. And then, they'll look at me and be like, wow, when I grow up, I want to look like you. But a lot of young women or young ladies, they didn't have that back then because they had the picture of a light-skinned person to look, after. The models or the people on TV and things like that.
Hey, sister, let me ask you a question because only women can answer questions like this, right? That I'm about to ask, right? Well, when we talk about this, right, usually what I hear, and I'm not talking about you in general, but this is what I hear in general amongst our people. Well, white people do it too, right? Here's a question I have for you. What instance that we've ever seen where two white people would argue or come against each other because one has a tan and the other doesn't? Is that an epidemic amongst white women? Are you there? What happened there? Something happened. Hold on a second. One moment here. 1 second. It must have, hey. I think we're still on. Okay, I'm back on Blog Talk now. One moment. One moment. One second, let me fix this. One second, I got to call back in.
For Blog Talk Radio, please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
One second. One second. Okay, I think I'm connected now. Yes. Okay.
To start your show now, press 1. To hear important instructions.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay. I'm connected back into the show now. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let's see if the sister's still here. All right, one moment. I apologize. Somehow this went haywire in the midst of the broadcast. Okay, sister, just call back in and I'll bring you right back in, okay? But here's my question. My question is this. Whenever we discuss these things, and I'm speaking of when I speak to brothers about certain things that goes on within our communities, or speak to sisters, what'll come out is, well, I know white people who does this and other people does this too, right? But I don't know how pointing out what white people are doing to some degree is going to help our situation. And I've never seen a scenario in which a white woman began to attack or talk down on another white woman based on the color of her tan. That almost exclusively, that behavior is exhibited amongst our people in our community. But the question is, how do we fix this? How can we fix it? Okay. Now, first of all, I mentioned earlier that we need to go back to the understanding of the Most High in the Bible. I stated that clearly, right? I want to bring something out real quick, right? Hold tight. I'm in the Bible. Get your books out real quick, and I'm going to go over a few things here, right? And Elder Lawyer, I need you to just call into the Blog Talk, and I'll bring you in through Blog Talk as a guest. You know how to do it in the background, so do it that way, so I can bring you in through the Blog Talk itself. I called in through the Blog Talk Skype connection. Okay. Now, let me pull up my Bible real quick. Some people don't know, right, that Levi, a sister who was just on from the tribe of Levi, Haiti, her family were the priests. And the priests were all black men in the Bible. I'm speaking of Moses, Aaron, the Israelites, before the diaspora, were all black people. When I say black, from a dark hue to a light skin hue. Okay. A matter of fact, white people themselves came out of black people. White people come out of the nation of Edom. Esau was born from two black parents. That's right. Rebekah, mother, and Isaac, father. Later on, Esau, in disobedience to his foreparents, began to deal with the leprous Canaanites and brought forth the race we call Edomites from Mount Seir. A Shemite / Hamitic leprous race, fulfilling the prophecy in Genesis 25 that 2 nations shall be in thy womb. So we had white people. Okay. And I believe that if these things are taught, it would take some of this insecurity and slavery behavior concerning colorism off the table going forward. If we teach our children that Christ wasn't a white man, that he was a black man according to Revelations 1, that you go all from Genesis to Revelation, that even our father Adam was made from the dust of the ground, that the Most High is on the throne. Our God is on the throne with what? Woolly hair. I believe that it will take all of that off the table. As a matter of fact, going back to Levi, when you read Leviticus, there was a curse where if a black person began to turn white like some of these people are doing here, that the priest would deem them leprous or unclean. If a white spot was to show up on black skin, that would alarm the whole community that a curse is amongst the people if your skin began to turn white. But this is not being taught in our churches, where self-love with the Bible is supposed to be taught. That's where it's supposed to be instilled in us as children, so that child doesn't choose the white dowel over the black dowel. It has to be instilled into us spiritually with our book. We believe that black is the curse. When if a black person begin to turn white like they're bleaching in Jamaica, that's the curse. Let me read it. Leviticus 13:3 reads, "And the priest shall look upon the plague in the skin of the flesh. And when the hair in the plague is turned white," that means blonde hair, "and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy. And the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. If the bright spot be white," like you see black people be turning white, and a lot of that is the side effects of the vaccines. That's Velalago and all that they claim Michael Jackson had. A lot of that is through these synthetic vaccines, folks, that attack our melanin. Our melanin is our first line of defense. Okay? When it comes to how we absorb air, nutrients, through the sun and all that. The whole world wished they had what the Most High naturally blessed us with. Leviticus 13:4 reads, "If the bright spot be white in the skin of the flesh, and its sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut him up that have the plague 7 days." That means if you have some white skin showing when you're a black person, the priest would declare you unclean and say that you're not allowed in the temple until the Most High undo this curse on you. We'll check you out in 7 days. And the priest shall look upon him. I'm in Leviticus 13:5. On the 7th day, and behold, if the plague in his sight be at a stay, and the plague spread not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days more. And the priest shall look on him on the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, that means the white is turning back its natural color, and the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. So if the priest look and see that that little white skin is turning black again, then he will pronounce that man or woman clean and allow them back amongst the community. Why? Because there was a curse of leprosy that turned the leprous Hamites white in the land of Canaan before Joshua and Caleb and the Israelites went in. So when you see people with their skin turning white in certain areas, patches on their hands and on their lips and all that, it's written of in the Bible. That's not to be celebrated as a way to be, oh, I'm turning white, this is nice. No. That's a curse according to the Most High God, that the Most High can reverse if that person repent from whatever that they're doing and turn back to the living God, the Most High will restore that hue. Usually it's due to disobedience, the curse of leprosy. Let me read this. This is Miriam, Moses' sister, who disobeyed Moses and began to rally a revolt against Moses in the wilderness. The Most High came down and cursed Miriam, a black woman, for her disobedience. Listen to this. Every church in our communities need to read this. Miriam, Numbers 12:10. And the cloud departed from the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And the Most High put her out of the camp in the wilderness for 7 days for disobeying and disrespecting Moses. What was her curse? She was turned white. Now, if they taught this in Haiti and in Jamaica and in our communities, I'm speaking of these pastors, it would change the minds of our children at their most impressionable ages. They will begin to take pride in who they are, realizing that they're not the people of the curse. The sun has shined upon them. The Most High have blessed them with the color of brass, like Christ. We're breaking down our defenses. And we're saying that the Most High's perfection wasn't good enough. By totally discoloring ourselves and pointing one to the other as better. There's no one better than the other. Everyone is perfect exactly the way the Most High made us. Let me read this. Another disobedience. Gehazi, who was dealing with the Syrian, Naaman, because there was an Edomite in the land of Syria. Right? There was an Edomite community there. Well, Gehazi was a shyster who tried to do some slick business and steal a little money and finances for himself. And the Most High gave understanding to the prophet of this disobedience. And what happened to Gehazi after his disobedience? 2 Kings 5:27. The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper, as white as snow. The Gehazite was cursed and his generations. Eventually, these families mixed with Edomites and went into the Caucasus Mountains, the Gehazites, the Europeans. But that was a curse put on Gehazite and his seed. That wasn't celebrated by Gehazi, him being turned from black to white. I'm reading the Bible, folks. Pastors everywhere within listening range need to leave those theologian schools and break this down. You are instilling the righteousness of what the Most High made us in our children by ignoring this, or just say that color doesn't matter. I'm just going to teach the spirit. Our children needs this. Pastors. This is what Christ says in Matthew 12 and 25. And Yeshua knew their thoughts. He was speaking to our people and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. This is what we've done to each other. By divide, we always look for the reason of divide instead of what gathers us. You understand? We look for the reason to stay divided, opposed to insinuating or actually bringing forth or upholding the things that brings us together. What brings us together? The Bible. And I'm speaking mainly of our brothers and sisters who were over here before we got here. The North American Indians, the Balikwa Taino Indians, our brothers in the South Pacifics, the Mexicans. A lot of you suffer colorism. And you know you have suffered under the same hand of oppression that we have. But yet you stay divided, believing that you are better. You're less than white, but better than black. It's a curse. Shame on us, because the curse is perpetuated and our children continue suffering under it. A nation divided against itself cannot stand. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Our brothers and sisters need to have the knowledge of who they are according to the Bible and how that relates to how they look, which will instill the proper pride in them according to their God, the God of Israel. Now there's much more. I see Cardi B out there saying different things about black women and all that and back and forth. And not only that, she's just a hot mess in itself. And it's a shame that the powers that be would promote her as some type of star. The bottom of the barrel in morality has been promoted and idolized in this society. Then you have other sisters. You got the Joe Button with one sister who's saying things about, oh yeah, black guys love us better than black girls. And you see this divide, this nonsense, while all of us are being destroyed. And sooner or later, they're going to jackboot all of us. It's time to come together. We're no longer children. It's time to stop blaming the other races and the psychology of what they do that leads to us acting out continually. Okay, it's madness. If you know they're doing it, then you should overcome it, right? And teach our children contrary to the programming, right? 515-605-9327. Let me go down the line. Let me see if the sister's still there. Okay, she's still here. Shalom, sister. I'm sorry we got disconnected.
Oh, no problem. I missed your question when we got this.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was just asking you, have you ever witnessed a scenario, because I know you said that white women still look up to the beauty of black women. I believe they do, and come in and buy products where you work based on that. But have you ever seen an instance where two white women are arguing over which one looks better based on one having a tan and the other doesn't?
No, not. I mean, very likely it would be more like, you know, your tan look red, but no. And talking about tan, that's another thing. We sell a lot of products, especially around this time, for women who need to tan. You know, there's so many companies, so many different brands with tanning products, and they even have organic. I don't know how they come up with that, but they even have organic tanning products, organic sunscreens. That's like one of our biggest, I guess I should say, money makers in this industry, because women want, and the sad thing is, so the light skin, or I should say Caucasian women, they'll come in, they want their foundation to look darker, they want bronzer. That's another thing that we sell, bronzer, so they can look darker. Then you have women, dark-skinned women, and it's usually women from Africa. They'll say, well, you know, I need to get a color match for my foundation. And it never fails. Most of these women who come from Africa, you match them, it's usually an argument. Oh, it's too dark. It's too dark. I do not want this. It's too dark. And you're looking at them like, if I go any lighter, you're going to look crazy. They want, that. It doesn't matter how close you match them, they want to look lighter. Or they'll say it indirectly how they want, you know, creams, you know, to make them look lighter. But, you know, it's really sad.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, sister, let me ask you a question. You being in that field, how would you fix that? If you could fix that yourself, how would you fix that altogether, where the next generation of sisters aren't suffering this?
It starts with parents, and that's why my sisters and I, with our ministry, like Women's Going Volunteer and stuff, we always focus on girls, not just dark-skinned girls, but young ladies, you know, telling them how beautiful they are. Israel come in different shades, and, you know, we'll tell them, like, the Most High's people is like a garden. When you go in the garden, you see different color flowers. There's red, there's yellow, there's green, so forth. It starts with the parents. You know, like I said, with me, even though I had that experience in Haiti, but that was just that one time. Growing up in Haiti, most people in authority, they look like me. I had that incident because, like I said, my best friend, you know, was, you know, like white, I should say, blonde hair, blue eyes. But my father instilled in me how I should be comfortable in my skin. And it made it easier, too, because my mother's really dark. My father's really dark. And it didn't affect, I didn't mind that my stepmother was, you know, light-skinned. So my father helped with that. I think parents have to tell, like, for example, my children, my 12-year-old now, 7 years ago when he was 5, he's the darkest one out of all my boys. And he had an issue saying, Mom, I'm the darkest one in this house. I said, Dio, what do you mean? I said, you know, your dad is dark, I'm dark. He said, no, but I'm the darkest. I said, so what? I said, what's wrong with that? And he said, well, you know, when I watch TV, for example, I was watching, and, you know, Dio's very smart. He said, I was watching a show on Disney Channel, and every time you watch television, they always show the good guy or the angel that's on your shoulder. He's always all in white, and he's light-skinned. And he said the devil or the bad guy is always dark or he's dark-skinned. He said, when I watch the news, you know, every time I see somebody in trouble, or no, he didn't say when I watch the news. He said when I see somebody in trouble on TV, they're always dark.
Okay.
And he even gave me an example with SpongeBob. You know, but
okay, let's
it has to go with the parents.
Okay.
It has to go with the parents. But I had another quick comment.
Okay, you have to be quick because we rounded it out. We have other people waiting.
I'll be quick.
Okay.
I'm just saying that most women who wear weaves, Elder, they don't wear it because they either don't like their hair, or they have a low self-esteem, or they don't like how they look. As a professional, most women that I know, they wear weaves because it's convenient. And other nations wear weaves too. It's not only black women. And I don't see the other nations coming down on their women telling them, you know, like you shouldn't be wearing weaves or, you know, that's not your natural look. So I think it's a negative thing.
Sister, I understand what you're saying.
Negative when
Go ahead. Sister, I understand what you're saying, but listen.
And I think it's wrong.
But sister, I understand, but we'll always be on the wrong. We'll always be on the opposite side of this discussion. Okay, and you have the right, and other women have the right to believe what they would like to believe. Okay, for whatever reason, right? And I don't take that away. But I really believe that it's going to come a time where we have to realize, regardless of our reasons, how we are perpetuating the curse and affecting our children, how they're viewing it, how others are viewing it, and how whether or not white people are doing it is not our issue. It's how it's affecting us. So one thing I don't like to hear, and I don't want to hear going forward. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people out there. When we talking about constructively criticizing and helping our people going forward so our children can break this curse, somebody coming in telling me what the white people do too. Well, what they're doing is not affecting us.
Well,
what we're doing is affecting us. Okay? Now I'm just saying in general, but we'll
that's
be
not what,
so we'll
that's
just
not what I meant.
Yeah, I understand, but you have to realize I'm dealing with a broad audience. And I'm sure there's reasons of conveniences. But overall, for the sake of our family, sometime we have to let go of our conveniences and go the hard way. If it means go the hard...
That doesn't work for everybody because everybody don't have the same convenience. I
understand, sister, but again, I'm speaking general. And we'll always be on the opposite side of this discussion on that. Okay, because
that's true.
We'll always be, and it's okay. Because I believe the back and forth brings constructive dialogue towards solution. It's not about me being right or you being right. I'm glad you have the courage to come out and say what you're thinking and know that you're not going to be ridiculed. You're not going to be talked down upon, because a lot of people hold what they feel, or being afraid of the backlash of being honest. So I'm not talking about.
I know this is not that kind of church.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, sister. It's okay. It's okay. But I will reserve my right to see it how I'm seeing it. You understand? And I'm sure you'll do the same. And it's okay. All right. Okay. Let me place you on hold. All right.
Good night.
All right. Let's go to the next call. 321 area code.
Hello?
Shalom, how are you? Gathered of Christ Church.
Oh my God, I'm finally talking to you. I'm sorry, hold for 1 minute. I don't know where to start, but I'm from Vietnam.
You from Vietnam? Okay.
And I got like a double whammy. I'm from Vietnam, but my mom is Indian and Vietnamese, so she's dark. And then my dad is black and Indian. So I'm darker and tall. So in my country, now over here, you only get picked at when you go to high school. But in my country, the whole country picking on me and call me the N-word like publicly, and nobody's saying anything because they look at me and I'm resembling of the war, the Vietnam War.
Okay.
So
how has that affected you, sister? So how has that affected your esteem? Have that affected your esteem negatively? Do you look upon yourself? Do you feel you're not as pretty as others based on the adolescent's ridicule?
Yes, Elder. It's like I'm saying, oh my God, I'm so dark and I'm so tall. I could never have a husband, because they are shorter than me. And in my country, black is represent the lower class. Like you're on the sun all day. That's why you're dark. and it's forbidden for any it's like how you say dishonor to marry a darker race. Like right now, you look outside in the United States, you rarely see a Chinese or Vietnamese woman, Vietnamese man, they a black woman. But you see now and then, you see a black man with the Vietnamese or Chinese woman, but it's not the opposite because it's considered dishonor to the family, you know.
Hey, I tell you, listen. Well, that's their loss. The whole that's their loss, because the whole thing is I'm not going to feed their sickness. The bottom line is, listen, if you don't know the greatness of being around great blackness, if you don't understand it, then you'll never understand Christ. Okay, you'll never understand him, because guess what? Christ came in the flesh. The greatest black man that have ever walked the earth was blacker than Wesley Snipes. So you know what? So the whole deal is that's their loss. If they don't know what it is to be around greatness, okay, go, you know, go do your likeness. But guess what? I'm gonna tell you, the whole thing is this: every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that this black man that's coming is Lord. You understand? So I never really. Listen, if someone don't want to be in my presence based on the outward appearance, that's not a conversation or a crowd I would frequent anyway. It's your loss.
Well,
I mean, there's much we can share, but go on. It's your time. Come on.
Yes, Elder. When I was young, that really get my self-esteem really low. And then I would vow to myself that I would never marry a black man or never marry a Vietnamese guy, because if I married to a black man, my children would be black.
That's your loss.
They will pick on.
That would be your loss. But go on.
Yeah, and then I would say I would never marry to a Vietnamese guy because they pick on me, so I don't want both of them. But then I get mad at my mom, and they say, why do you marry a black guy to get me black? You could pick a white guy and I would be lighter, so I would be better than them. You see what I'm saying? And when I come to America,
bad parents, bad parenting.
Yeah, and
go on.
I and just fine. But when I first date a black guy and bring it home, and my brother was 100% Vietnamese, and he said, you don't like black guy, and you pick the most black guy out of the whole bunch today. So
good job.
I end up to dumping that guy.
Great job.
But
sister.
The long story short,
sister, let me drop something. Sister, let me drop something for you. The Cambodians, the Filipinos, the Vietnamese. Why do you think the world powers went to war against Vietnam? All of these Asian nations that are over there are not Asian at all. They're not even accepted by the Greek baby Chinese. These particular people are a diaspora of the 10 tribes that went in to Asia. You are the children of Israel. That's why you're suffering the same colorism and same madness that's being taught in our neighborhoods.
I know that.
Exactly.
I've been learning for over a year now.
Yeah.
My husband right now is a Benjamin, but I still don't know what tribe I belong to, so I'm kind of like a mixed tribe. But I'm proud of I'm black now, because since I'm black, then I can be the chosen. You know, I'm glad that my mom didn't.
Come on in,
white man.
Come on in. Guess what?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what they tell you?
Yeah.
It ain't scripture, but that black of the berry. I'm gonna tell you right now, Christ was a black man. Okay. And you know what? I'm happy. I'm proud to say, guess what? Let me tell you. I don't want to look like Tom Cruise or Cully McLaughlin or Robert De Niro or any other of these guys. Hey, listen, I'm glad the Most High made me who I am, and I'm glad he gave me black parents, and I love the Most High for it. I love him for it. And you know what? They should love the Most High how the Most High made them. I don't see white people going through this stuff. where they're looking at you saying, well, you're a different hue of white than me, and this is going to keep us from ruling. This is going to keep us from having power. They don't disagree.
Yes.
They don't disagree on menial points like us. Okay, that's a curse.
Yes.
That's a curse in itself. Thank you. Sister, I'm going to place you on hold. Let me get to the next one. Good job. Welcome to blackness, and it's all good. It's wonderful. It's sweet.
Thank you.
You're blessed. All right, let's keep it going. 832 area code. Come on. Hey, lawyer, where you at? Come on in. Okay, if I start hearing phones and cords moving around, I'm going to the next call. Lawyer, you're with us. Where you at, lawyer? Come on in now. All right, well, I'm going to keep going, lawyer. Let me know when you're ready. Let me see where lawyer at here. I'm going to call this young man up live.
Shalom, Elder.
What's going on, brother? I'm on a roll right now.
Yes, sir. I'm on Blog Talk. I'm not sure if you see me in there.
Okay, hit the button. Come on in.
All right. When you say hit the button, because I'm not familiar with being a...
Oh, my goodness. Let me find your number. Come on, young man. Is it the same phone number you're on right now?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me find you, young man. I'll call you back.
All right.
All right. Tell you, boy, I'm jelly. I'm on a roll right now. I'm on a roll. What's wrong with this young man? Should have been up in here. We talking some serious business. Where lawyer at? Oh, you know what you can do, lawyer? Pull up your computer and sign in and just hit the button. How about that? Right? Just come on in, sign in, and hit the button. I'm going to do about 5 minutes over time, and then we'll digress, and hopefully brothers and sisters will feel good about the skin they're in and go forward to teach their children not to use colorism as a divide amongst our people. Right? Let's see. 803 area code. Let's go.
Hello. Hi, Elder. How are you?
I'm blessed by the best.
I was calling to say, very good, very good. Me too. I was calling to say that I'm a light-skinned black female, and I know I'm a beautiful black woman because we come in all different shades.
That's
and
right.
I'm in there.
That's right.
But Elder, I got to tell you something.
Come on.
It's a reason why light-skinned women and white women love dark-skinned men, because when that light skin lay on that brown skin, the heavens open up. And I contribute that to black mothers because they teach their black boys how to put that lotion on and how to clean their body. And when they grow up, their skin is butter. So I'm telling you, it's a beautiful thing.
Okay, this is a family show, sister, but thank you. I'm going to place you on hold.
No, I'm talking about I have a husband. No, I have a husband. I have a brown-skinned husband. That's what I experienced with my husband.
You're talking about lotion and skin on skin. Lord, this is the Bible show. But I'm with you, though. Blackness. I'm with you. Put the fist up. I'm with you, sister. All right? All right?
Yeah. Yes, that's with my husband.
Okay, that's a wonderful thing. I'm glad you was able to get you a strong black man.
Yes, I'm just testifying. I'm sorry, Elder. Please forgive me.
Oh, no problem. Oh, hey, it's okay. All right. I'm going to place you on hold for a moment,
Thank
okay?
you, Shalom.
All right,
All
Shalom.
right.
All right. Yeah, let me look, see what time it is. Lord, I got juice spilling and everything. Lord, have mercy. Yeah, you talking about lotion and... 1 second, folks. Okay. And for those who don't know, We got the Hebrew and Bible Academy coming up. I'm doing to, you know what I mean, try to switch it up a little bit. Hebrew and Bible Academy coming. Gathering as one at AOL.com. Go to historytimes.org or gatheringofchrist.org. And this is the family show. Next call. 404 area code. You're live. They talking about GOCC after dark. Y'all something else, boy. Our people, only our people, I tell you. 647 area code.
Yeah, Elder.
I'm blessed by the best. Talk to me.
Yeah. Nice. It's Victor calling from Calgary, Canada. Good day, sir.
Bless you. Talk to me.
Yeah, if our people understand, if our people should go check on YouTube and check on a guy called Dr. Lila Africa, he talks so much about melanin and how melanin is one of the most important substances in the body that gives us our characteristic variances of skin color. If people understand the power of melanin, I think this whole thing about light skin versus dark skin will just disappear. You know, so for me, when I could have known about the melanin producing the characteristic pigment for our skin color, and the fact that what the melanin does, it doesn't just give us that skin color, it protects, it's like one of the greatest form of defense for our body.
Exactly.
And our melanin is different from the Caucasoid melanin because they have a different kind of melanin. That's why they can't process sun like we do.
Okay.
Our own is a different kind of melanin too. So people should understand. They should try and go deep into melanin to understand why it gives us that skin color and stop all this light skin versus dark skin. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, brother. Great points. Great points. And if you're going to get in, for overtime, you have to make sure you call in 515-605-9327. We're talking about this colorism madness that has been plaguing our communities for ages. Pitting the black against the dark skin against the light skin and the light skin against the dark skin. A brother tried to talk to a sister and she said, well, I only like light skin guys. I don't like dark skin and all. People have their preference or whatever the case is. But is that preference instilled in you due to some madness you learned from your parents? Somehow we look down upon the righteous and the strong black hue that was always the dominance throughout all generation, and then uphold the opposite as good. It's backward. And that's why the white woman in that film in Jamaica was saying, well, you know, can I do that too? She was really making fun and jest. She was amazed at these black women and black children bleaching themselves when white people admire, and to some degree, some of them envy the hue that we have. They look at it and say, why don't you appreciate what God has given you? You're beautiful. Every other people see it outside of us. That must be a curse. 515-605-9327. And you can pop in anytime you would like, Elder Lawyer, because the show is almost up. But, you know, we might have to do a part 2 with this, you understand? But, hey, it was a good show. And hopefully, brothers and sisters can teach our children how to break this curse and correct our children when they are exhibiting the crap of the colorism.
90 seconds.
The colorism that they're learning outside your house, because a lot of children pick this up amongst their playmates, people they play with, the children. So when they bring that mess into your house and someone says, hey, mom or dad, look, I'm darker than everybody. But like, listen, rub up against me because I need some of that blackness. The Most High blessed you more than all of us. Okay? We need a part 2 on this. 515-605-9327. And I want to play this once more so it will resonate before we're done. I'm going to play this so it can resonate for y'all. One moment. I'm going to play this so this can resonate. One moment.
In Brown versus Board of Education, the famous case that desegregated schools in the 1950s, Dr. Kenneth Clark conducted a doll test with black children. He asked them to choose between a black doll and a white doll. In most instances, the majority of the children preferred the white doll. I decided to reconduct this test as Dr. Clark did to see how we've progressed since then. Can you show me the doll that you like best or that you'd like to play with?
This one. I like that one.
Show me. I'm killing.
This one.
That one?
This one. I like to play with this.
And can you show me the doll that is the nice doll? And why is that the nice doll?
He's white.
And can you show me the doll that looks bad? Okay. And can you give, and why does that look bad?
Because it's black.
And why do you think that's a nice doll?
Because she's white.
And can you give me the doll that looks like you? "15 out of the 21 children preferred the white doll."
Check that out. Check that out, brothers and sisters. Let's give you one more. Just for context. It's just strictly for context. And yes, what you're seeing is BS.
It's bleaching skin.
Okay. Right now in Jamaica, if you're not bleaching, you're not saying nothing, because bleaching turn up the thing. So when you bleach, America look more nicer, look more sexier, and look more cuter than you was.
Do you bleach?
Yeah.
Yeah? When did you start?
I'm start about 2 years about now. Some people say they want to look like Beyonce or what you call that, Nicki Minaj. I want to look like Nicki Minaj.
Do you ever think about it and just wish that it was different and that the trend was to be black?
The only difference I wish you had in it was if it could happen faster without damaging your skin.
Show me what you do.
Alright, this is Bio Cream. Now this is Jamaica's baby in bleaching. American Sun. And this is for your hair. But girls have found out that this volume 40 is like one of the big things that just brings up the cream. Gives you that, first it gives you that reddish look and then it just takes it off beautifully. But after a while, you have to just cool off and come back again because your skin will get way too thin. You get a cut, it will never heal. After a while, this area will burst. And when it bursts, the vein is more obvious.
What do you think would happen if I used it?
If you... No, I don't think you will have skin left. Some of the girls that do this think that, hey, if I do this long enough, I'll become white. So you never actually get white. After you get brown, you get pink. So you do it once in the morning and once in the night before you go to bed. There's some people now that do it 3 times a day. This is the way I do it, right? Okay. First thing you get is the warmth of it.
Shall I try?
It won't hurt you.
It's definitely a little bit warm.
Yeah. So we're gonna take the Glad wrap and I got wrap it on my skin. The heat is unbearable, right?
Yeah. So you would go out with this under your clothes?
Yeah, all day. You would go out, yeah. Some girls get stockings and pull it up over it. They would get tights and pull it up over it, and probably get jeans. So it would be the heat of the century, like a global warming type of thing happening, yeah.
But if you have a boyfriend already, doesn't it interfere with your sex life?
He doesn't get any.
What's more important, sex or bleaching?
Sex or bleaching? Yes, some guys that if you're not brown, they don't want you. So there's a lot of guys that will lie down and watch you rub on the cream, help you.
So she say if a lot of men say if you're not brown, I don't want you. I told you that a lot of brothers are resisting this stuff and trying to tell sisters they don't need that. So we got to have a candid conversation, because if women are not doing these things for men, why are they doing it? Are they doing it? Maybe there's some competition between women we need to discuss. That's a whole nother conversation. Are they doing it strictly because of other women? We need a show on that.
And light on the side and said, baby, I don't want to mess up that cream tonight. I want it to stay on you, yeah.
BS. There it is. Lawyer, you with me, or should I just go to the calls here? No? I know what I'm going to do. I have to become resourceful here, folks. I'm gonna plug this right here into my phone. Now, I'm gonna make it happen either way, right? That's what I'm gonna do here. That's what I'll do. I'll plug it into my phone. Let's see. And I'll bring in lawyer that way. How about that? Boom. Let's do it like that. It's more than one way of skinning a cat, right? Where are you, lawyer? Here you go. There you go. I'll do it that way. Let me get this out of here, because yeah, that is BS. Yes.
All right, it's me.
Hey, lawyer, I got you. You're with me right now. You're live on the broadcast.
All right, let me make a few adjustments here.
Okay, you sound perfect.
All right, wonderful.
And you know we couldn't end this show without getting your perspective. Talk to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, so first and foremost, before I get into my point, just to reassure the understanding and the purpose of this show, as you have mentioned throughout the course of the show. The purpose of this show is not to try to bolster a brown-skinned Israelite against a light-skinned Israelite.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? And vice versa.
Exactly.
We have to understand that we are all descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel, and we come in all hues and all colors.
Exactly.
So this is not the purpose. In fact, just to give a personal testimony, within my family, my father's dark skin, my mother's dark skin, I'm brown skin, and the majority of my brothers and sisters are brown skin, with the exception of one who is very light, with what the world would consider good hair. And you can't tell that she's a part of my family.
Okay.
But nonetheless, she comes from the same father and mother. So just showing that we produce all hues. But that's just one, that's another point in itself, another discussion within itself. One thing I was noticing when watching these particular videos is the fact that these sisters who were bleaching their skin had products which allowed them to bleach their skin. And I'm not the smartest man in the world, but it don't take a wise man to figure out that these sisters did not make these products themselves.
Exactly.
They got these things from somewhere, which shows that the deficiencies or the lack of self or the insecurity that exists amongst us, the other nations know about it, and not only do they know about it, they're benefiting from it.
And capitalizing, exactly.
So when the scripture says, when we came down as low as we did as a nation, and that the nation started sending gifts one to another, we're beholding that as we watch these videos. The nations are benefiting, they're getting rich, they're profiting off the fact that we have an insecurity amongst ourselves concerning our color, the way we look. And I think, as you mentioned, this particular discussion, we probably need to have we may have to continue to have this discussion every so often, because we're able to kind of resolve this being in the truth and benefiting from the fact that we understand that Christ is a black man and that the Israelites are black, and that the Most High is sitting on the throne with what the world would consider curly, kinky hair. We benefit from that, but for those in the world who don't have that knowledge, it's hard for them to, really resolve why they feel this way about themselves. And I would go as far as to say that even with the knowledge of this truth, the knowledge of Christ being black, the knowledge of the Israelites being black, we to some degree still suffer from the brainwashing we received in the world, to the point where you would have an Israelite having a conversation with another Israelite, still referring to things such as the good hair, the good skin. You will still have that amongst those who are called to be Israelites. So maybe, we're scratching the surface, and we maybe need to get deeper to really get to the root of some of these insecurities we may have about ourselves. But nonetheless, there's a scripture in the Bible in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31, which says, "Envy not thou the oppressor, and take on another's ways." And we're going to find out that this hatred we have amongst ourselves, dark skin against light skin, is exactly what the scriptures say. We have envied the oppressor, and we've accepted his way by choosing to have this indifference amongst ourselves. The light skin feeling that they're better than the dark skin, the dark skin feeling like they have to take up arms and boast themselves against the light skin. That didn't exist with us at one point in our history. And as the sister stated earlier, one of the first sisters that called in, that is not a historical thing amongst us as Israelites, and neither is that historical amongst nations. Nations really never conquered or dealt with other nations solely based on color. It was based on nationality. It was based on my family versus your family, and we're seeking to have supremacy over the whole earth and all the families of the earth.
Exactly.
So I wanted to read this real quick. This is from Babylon at Timbuktu, chapter or page number 20 to 21, and it makes some very profound statements about the origin of some of this colorism that we're speaking of. It says, "The ancient people did not classify according to skin color like the modern nations of Europe and America. The ancients, including the Greeks and Romans, identified people according to their national or tribal names. They used such names as Visigoths, Vandals, Saxons, Ethiopians, Carthaginians, Jews, Arabs, Persians, Babylonians, Egyptians, and Moors. They did not use the term Negro, which is a modern term, to refer to black races, or the word Caucasian to refer to white races. Dividing the world along a color line was an idea that originated with the white supremacists in Europe after the Renaissance. The Europeans did not have any great civilization immediately after the fall of Greece and Rome. During the Middle Ages, the black nations of Africa and Asia had the greatest political, economical, educational, and military influence in the world. At this time, Europe existed in a state of darkness for 1,000 years. In the 17th century and later, Europe began to emerge out of a flow of ignorance, and certain Germans and others conceived of themselves as belonging to a superior race. Johann F. Blumenbach, a German, was the first to divide humanity on the basis of skin color. Up to this time, no such attempt has been made.
His classification set up a color line to the detriment of later generations. Last point on this particular reference, it says Mr. Blumenbach classified 5 chief races of mankind: the Caucasian, the Mongolian, the Ethiopian, the American or American Indian, and Malaysian. Moreover, he considered the Caucasian to be the original race, and it goes on and on. So we accepted these ideologies, this belief that the Caucasian being a great race and that, you know, we are to separate and divide according to color is a fairly new creation that was created by oppressors, and we have adopted that understanding. Now, the issue, this is my last point, the issue that exists amongst us is the fact that we have never had anyone to come and tell us that the reason we're suffering as a people has nothing to do with color, because we have, you know, throughout history, we associate our downfall simply to color. We went into slavery because we were black and white people hated black people.
Ridiculous.
Which is foolishness.
Yeah.
We can't get jobs, or we're at the low, we're at the bottom of the earth or at the low state of the earth because of our color, which again, that's foolishness. But no one has been able to come and tell us and give us the understanding to say, no, you're not suffering because you're black. You're not suffering because you have dark skin. In fact, your brothers who are light-skinned are suffering in the same hell that you're suffering in.
Exactly.
But some of them are they're too light-headed to see that, because they feel that they have a closer association through color with the oppressor. But we're all suffering. All 12 tribes are suffering based on the curses that were placed upon us that are documented throughout scripture, throughout prophecy. Even Christ spoke of the 12 tribes of Israel going into history, not based on their color, but based on the curses for breaking the covenant and the commandments of their forefathers.
Exactly. So let me quantify this, and I'm gonna give you back the floor real quick. We aren't suffering by the hands of our oppressors and white people in America because we're black or because we came from Africa. We're suffering due to the disobedience we've always perpetrated and perpetuated against our God and ourselves. That's why we're suffering, not because we're black. Okay, I'm glad you pointed that out. Go ahead, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. But yes, we probably definitely need to have more discussions. I mean, seeing those videos, man, it was heartbreaking. I can't even put it in words.
It's heartbreaking.
Look at that.
It's heartbreaking. I'm looking at beautiful people who don't realize how beautiful they are and how beautiful the Most High know they are. They don't even understand how the Most High feel about the blessed temple He have given them. It's heartbreaking. But you know what we're going to do, Elder Lawyer? Part 2, we're going to have a roundtable discussion at headquarters, and we're going to sit around with light skin, dark skin, Puerto Rican. We're going to have a full array of color and hue from the light spectrum to the dark spectrum, from the dark end to the light end, to have this discussion part 2, but while witnessing some of the racism that's within all of our cultures throughout the earth, to come to find out the ties that bind us is the curse itself. Why you who have never existed amongst us in Thailand and in different parts of Asia like Vietnam, why are you suffering the same colorism we're suffering here in America? Could it be we were both cursed by the same God, and you were scattered to one part of the earth and we were scattered to another? Doesn't matter what. Let me tell you, a lot of people will look at Asians as having an upper, black Asians having having what you would call the upper ground on blacks. When we've just heard they go through this in Vietnam, Cambodia, all of that. So it has more to do with our disobedience against our God as a sign, knowing that we must be the children of Israel, than it is us being black. When the Most High says that we would be be looked upon as a byword, calling each other names and all that, the curse is not just what the other nations would be calling us. It's what we would perpetuate amongst ourselves. That's why I don't want to hear nothing about some black people coming together and marching against Gucci, blackface and all that. How dare you talk about the white man using blackface when we haven't stomped out the colorism amongst us in our communities, that line between light-skinned people and dark-skinned people. That's hypocrisy. Okay. Let them have their blackface and all that. Let them do all that. When we get incinerated, that's just showing that we care. When we stop marching and protesting about what they're doing against us, knowing that it means really nothing, at that time, they'll even leave it alone. Like, go ahead, do blackface, do whatever you would like to do. Sticks and stones may make my bones. Knock yourself out with blackface. We need to fix what's the divide amongst us in our communities. And point to the curse the Most High have placed between us and solve it and teach our children better. So we're going to have go ahead, Elder Lawyer. I'm sorry, go on.
If I can add one more quick point in that whole thing. I know that's like kind of passé now. That's been months ago since that Gucci thing. But one thing about that, I don't think that our people were so shocked that Gucci was racist. Because our people who shop, I don't shop at the Gucci store, but you hear countless stories. Even Oprah Winfrey went into one of those high fashion boutiques, as they call it, and there was some type of prejudice that was exhibited against her in the high fashion store.
Yeah.
So we know that racism exists amongst these stores, but our people, it's like we want to buy the oppressors' clothing, so on and so forth, and don't feel anything consciously about doing so. So then we come with this outrage, this fake outrage about Gucci, so on and so forth, as if we didn't know they were racist in the first place.
Exactly. Thank you. So I'm not a part of no marches, none of that garbage they doing out, talking about inequality and all that crap. I'm not hearing nothing about what white people doing until we come together and fix what's going on amongst us. Period. I don't want to hear it. What's our excuse? Okay, what is our excuse? What the nations are going to do what they're going to do. But why can't we fix what's under our control is the question. So we're going to have a roundtable discussion. This is going to be good, Elder Lawyer. At the headquarters, cameras, we're going to have the separate cameras set up, and we're going to be tackling these particular conversations as a point of resolve going forward, so that at least our brothers and sisters can think when they are, I would say, in a scenario in which they have a choice to make, and by one of these conversations, make the right choice at that time. That's what these constructive conversations are about. It's not about right or wrong or trying to have a brother and sister ashamed of saying why they think certain things. Thinking that that they might be ridiculed or whatever. No. We want to hear it. Doesn't matter how ridiculous it might sound. Unless we discuss these things, we as a people will never get over them. Okay, let's discuss it. And you know what? We're going to have an in-depth, conversation strictly on men. And we're gonna tap on that weave thing too one of these days. Of not just why women wear weave, but why is it that the Asians and the other nations are made it $1 billion industry focusing on us? What is it that they've seen amongst our women that would turn into $1 billion business for their families, for their prodigy and generations to come? What did they target? What did they see? What did they know concerning our women to make an enterprise, a multi-billion-dollar enterprise out of weave, mainly targeting black people? That's going to be a discussion. We're going to deal with it from a different angle. We're going to deal with it from the economic vantage point, the economics of it. And maybe our sisters start looking at it and say, well, okay, I didn't see it from that vantage point. If this means the nations who have oppressing us become grander and richer and their children become greater, I'd rather have a bush with a pick in it then. Okay? If it means me funding my own demise. So, hey, we're going to have these discussions. Right? Thank you, other lawyer. I'm going to take a few calls and then, hey, I'm going to wish you all Godspeed. But hopefully this discussion will lead to brothers and sisters, dark or light, being comfortable going forward with the skin they're in. In the skin they're in, being comfortable with how the Most High made you. Guess what? He loves you just the way you are. Be proud of it. A few more calls and then we're out for tonight. 281 area code. 281, I'm going to bring you in. One moment. 281 area code.
Shalom, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Shalom.
All right, yeah, this is Brother Muhammad from the Houston body, man. So I just wanted to call in and give a couple experiences that I've personally been through when it comes to the whole light skin, dark skin paradigm. You know, growing up is very hard because it was very hard because there's a lot of ridicule, a lot of teasing that it comes along with being a dark-skinned brother. And I think it's something our people have to know is against us and put out there by people who are not for us. And what helped me get over that is the fact that when I started reading the Bible and finding out that all of these great men were blacker than black, you know, it helped me to have a sense of pride in how the Most High made me. You know, when it comes to Solomon and how he says he is blacker than the tenth of Gadar, and how Christ is like a burnt penny, you know, black. Our people need to know that great things come from dark-skinned people, not to take away from light skin, but I'm just going to focus more so on the degradation of our darker people. I also wanted to get on our brothers because it's about time we start uplifting our dark-skinned sisters out here.
Exactly.
You know, letting them know how beautiful they are. And you know, to me personally, it's nothing more beautiful than to see one of our dark-skinned sisters put on some olive oil and brush her hair nice and go out there and show the world what a beautiful black woman look like. But, you know, we're so caught up in this, oh, give more attention to the light-skinned woman and things of the flesh. And it's time we get over that. It's time we grow up and let all of our sisters know, light skin to high yellow, know that, look, you are beautiful the way the Most High has created you.
That's right.
You know, take them to scriptures like Ephraim is a cake unturned. That boom, that's people right there that's light skinned, high yellow.
See, well, check it out. Then, I'm going to check you out. I want you to check out how deeply ingrained the curses are, right? High yellow is an offense. I remember the dark people used to call, the dark skin in fighting against light skin would call a person high yellow. You understand? That's how deep it is. No, all of us are different. We're different shades of brown. All of us. But go on. You know what I mean? No, I'm gonna let you go through the points. But then you used to hear the brothers on the corner with a toothpick in his mouth. Yeah, she red bone. I'm like, what? Only our people come up with these different variants. Man, listen, I don't know. It's like, I mean, our people are special, man. Only our people can come up with these terms. Oh yeah, that red bone right there. Red what? Red what? But go on. I digress.
Listen, you wouldn't believe how many brothers. And you know, I never was the big ladies man, Mac man, and all that, but my homeboys were.
Okay.
So I would listen and hear them talk about how, you know, oh, I got this red bone I'm talking to. I got this yellow bone I'm talking to. And oh no, I don't mess with them dark ones. You know what I'm saying? I mess with light skin, like it's such a higher quality of person.
No, let me tell you.
They make it seem as if messing with a.
You know what? It's their loss. That's a shame because that adolescence mindset don't even have them realize it's their loss. It's their loss. Okay?
I've come across some dark-skinned sisters with a heart of gold.
No. Listen, I'm not saying one is over the other, but one thing I know for sure. When it comes to the aging process, it's something that the Most High did with the darker melanin that has a person that I'm telling you that has a person with the darker melanin to some degree age gracefully.
Boy, you ain't lying.
And not only, and I'm not saying because this is my opinion. Looking it up, going into it, it's a scientific fact that the dark people. So you may get with someone that's cute now, but when you get older and grow older together, you're gonna realize that melanin wasn't a bad idea if you chose it early. Okay, I'm just being straight.
Boy, I tell you.
So it's their loss, right?
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
And that's what our brothers need to realize. Look, there's nothing wrong with our dark-skinned sisters. Because quite frankly, it's come to the point where, I mean, I'm a Benjamite, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's what resonates with me. My father's from Ghana. That would be a whole other discussion. But, you know, and I've seen, but I grew up with my mother as a Benjamite on the West Indies side.
Yeah.
And it is hurting to see our people, our Benjamite sisters, with some of the most beautiful, dark, shiny, well moisturized skin I've ever seen in my life.
Do y'all go with the lotion? You done went from lotion to baby oil. Something about Jake. The next call that y'all gonna be bringing shea butter in it. I'm gonna put you on hold real quick.
Oh my God.
It's okay. Hey.
All right.
Hey, this is GOCC, like they say, GOCC after dark. We went from lotion to baby oil. The next one gonna bring in shea butter. Okay, who's next? 813. We're gonna take 2 more calls and then we're gonna keep this discussion because I don't want to let too much out because we need a roundtable discussion on colorism. That's coming up, brought to you by the Gathering of Christ Church. We're gonna have this discussion. Have New York come down, everybody. It's gonna be a good discussion. 813 area code. Come on, let's go.
Shalom.
Shalom, talk to me.
Rickon, how you doing?
I'm good.
Hey, I have to side with you on, man, you say we have to really step outside of ourselves to look at the condition of our people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, our people don't know. It is a curse. And I think that, you know, I was reading Revelation. You know, you can tell our people that we are under a curse and they won't believe you. But over in Revelation 22, as they're talking about on the other side of things, I'm going to just start with verse 3. And it says, and there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him.
Exactly.
So it's telling you on the other side, you know, that there were curses on the earth. You know, our people, I mean, we can invent some stuff, you know, and just like when we came out of Egypt, man, we had got led through the Red Sea. You know, Moses went up in the mountain to get the commandments, and we down there cutting the food.
Yep.
You know, just showing out.
And stuff. You know our brother, you know the sister, you know they was at that golden calf. You know, when I see people out there talking about the twerking and all that, think about what they was doing at that golden calf down at that mountain. We're definitely the children of Israel, folks. We're definitely the children of Israel. They was acting a fool down there, our people in the wilderness. But go on.
But no, that's all I really wanted to say. I know, actually, my mom was in the hospital, and there was a girl from Haiti. And I told her about you guys. And I showed her, you know, just some of the YouTube sites. And she said to me, I never seen black Jews before. And see, that's the condition of our people. You know,
yeah,
we're lost, man.
Never seen black Jews, huh?
The only thing she have time for is to keep her head down in a book, you know, to try to pass another test. And I was just so thrilled, that, you know, that to share the news with her. I mean, she
Yeah.
seemed interested.
Yeah.
I'll probably be seeing her again. And
Great.
man, I just thank God.
Great.
For you guys, man, what you're doing.
Okay. Well, the next time Mama comes on and asks and say, "Well, I've never seen a black Jew before." The next time she come and say, "I've never seen a black Jew before," you know what you need to do? Say, "Mama, go look in the mirror." All right, brother. All right, let me.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. I got one more call, and then we wish you all Godspeed. This was a blessed show, and I believe this is one step towards us getting over another curse that have been perpetuated within our society. One more call, and then we'll wish you all Godspeed. Okay, let me go. Let's see. We have 647. Someone who's been waiting for a long time. 701 area code. This person been waiting for a long time. I have to let you in. I'm sorry if you've been waiting, but I'm sorry. Good things must come to an end until part 2. Last call. Shalom.
Shalom, Elder. Thanks for taking my call. And listen, I would just like to say I was married and had, a nice load of kids. And one of them, my husband did not think was his because he was bright skinned. And I was, she looked just like her sister, but it didn't matter to me.
Your phone going in and out.
Just, okay, figure, I apologize.
Okay, go on.
Okay, this is better?
It's better, go on.
Oh yeah, so he didn't believe that his daughter was his. It didn't matter to me because I knew it was, because she looked just like his sister. And, and coming through before I knew I was Israelite, there were people that would just look at me, and I was like, and we'd be out, and he was, okay, did you get away there looking at you? I'm like, no, because I'm just, going about my business. And, to me.
Hey, sister, I'm sorry. Go fix your phone. Hey, sister, I got to put you on hold because your phone is breaking up every other word. It's hard to hear you, okay? I'm sorry about that, okay?
Oh, thank you.
Okay, no problem. She's saying that, someone was looking at her strange because she had a lighter skinned daughter. And that happens all the time, too. Don't forget, Rebecca and Isaac had a black and a white child. We can do that. All nations came from us. But you know how it is, the rumor mill in the community. If somebody have a light skin, they be like, they talking about the mailman and everything else. But we all know two dark-skinned people can bring forth light-skinned children with no issue at all. 647. Last call. Shalom.
Oh, hello, Elder. It's Victor. Sorry. I talked earlier today.
Yeah, you was on early. I'm sorry. Let me go to a call who haven't been on. Let's see. 205 area code. This will be the last call. Shalom.
Shalom, Elder. Hey, this is Tracy from Alabama.
Shalom. You the last call. Talk to me.
Hey, Elder. I just want to say it's a great show. Everything sounds great. The only thing I just want to add to it, I just noticed growing up in high school, seeing all the celebrities, the black celebrities as far as athletes and actors and musicians and whatnot, it seemed like they grew up in the hood, and then once they kind of made it and made it big, they all either went lighter or, white or whatever, or had more light-skinned women portrayed in the movies as more wanted, or in the music videos and things of that nature. And that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, you mean as far as the interracial scenario in which when someone actually climbs what you would call economic ladder, they have to get them someone of another race as part of that status to some degree, which also falls into the colorism and self-hatred that we perpetuate amongst ourselves. That's a conversation that we'll have with the next discussion too. I'm glad you brought out that point. All right.
Shalom. Appreciate it.
Shalom. Okay, brothers and sisters, that concludes our show when it comes to light skin, dark skin, a nation divided by color. And I want to state this and end it with the words of Christ once again. And Yeshua, whom the world called Jesus, knew their thoughts and said unto them, every nation divided against itself is brought to desolation. And every city or house, that means in our communities, against itself shall not stand. You want to know why we are witnessing the depopulation and the destruction of our people? This is why. Because we as a people always point to and perpetuate the things that divide us. When the Most High is gathering his people during this awakening, and we as a people should be more so now cleaving to the one thing that brings us together. And that's God. That's the Most High and his Son. And guess what? The Holy Bible. It gathers us. With that, we're going to say shalom. I'm Elder Rick Shaw, the Gathering of Christ Church. It was a great discussion. And please, let's teach our children to love themselves, regardless of their color, regardless of their hue. Let them know the Most High made them special just the way they are. With that, I'm going to say shalom. You stay strong, brothers and sisters. Stay in the spirit. Stay prayed out. Stay prayed up, and sin not. Will soon see Zion. Shalom.
Are you seeking to strengthen your biblical foundation? Join us in the Hebrew Bible Academy, where we offer 12 weeks of in-depth learning in a structured environment. Receive real-time news from Brother Shaphat and amazing lessons by Elder Ricard. Learn ancient Hebrew with Elder Lawyer. With 12 amazing lessons, you are guaranteed to learn more about your true biblical history and authentic Hebrew language than you would in a traditional Christian church for only a one-time payment of $150 or 3 monthly payments of $50. Join us at historytimes.org and sign up today. It's not too late. See you in the academy.